What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing DelGrosso's park. I went to this park back in the beginning of August 2023, so just about a month ago. So I have a pretty fresh experience for just talk about this park. Today I'll be talking about the rides there, water rides, the food, the experience, all of that in this review. So let's get right into it. If you haven't already, make sure you go over and watch my review on Dorney Park. I'll have it up on the top of the screen in a card. Make sure you go over and watch that after you watch this video. But now back to the review on DelGrosso's. Okay, starting off at the first subject that I want to talk about, that is the coasters at DelGrosso's. They only have two coasters, a wacky worm called Wacky Worm, and then they have Crazy Mouse, which is a Zamperla spinning wild mouse. I definitely preferred this to like a laugh track at Hershey Park, which is a Mauer spinning wild mouse. I definitely prefer this. This spins a lot more and it's a lot more fun. This is obviously the best coaster at the park. In terms of coasters, it's probably like one of the lowest rated parks in Pennsylvania in terms of coasters, in my opinion. But in terms of coasters that they could add in the future, I definitely hope they add more coasters in the future. Even like a like family boomerang coaster would be, it's crazy to say that, but a family boomerang coaster at DelGrosso's would be a huge addition. It would be way better than anything they have right now. So, I would love if they would add something like a family boomerang. Obviously, I'm not going to probably go back to DelGrosso's until they add another coaster because, I really had the full experience the day I went. I really felt like I had the full experience that day I went. So I don't think there's anything I missed. But, obviously, if they add a coaster, I will want to go back. In terms of coasters, I'd say, they definitely, if they were to add one more coaster, I'd say it would be worth it to go there, if you've been there before. But yeah, it's in terms of coasters, I definitely don't think this is necessarily a park for coasters. I think the other stuff is why you would want to go to this park. So moving on to the other subjects. Okay, now I want to talk about the flat rides that they have at DelGrosso's. They have a drop tower called Extreme Tower. They have a wave swinger type of attraction, which is called Yo-Yo. They have a flying mat style attraction called Rockstar. They have a paratrooper. They have bumper cars. They have a carousel. So they have a lot of just classic rides, flat rides. In my opinion, the two best flat rides are Extreme Tower and Yo-Yo. All the other rides are just classic fun rides, but Extreme Tower, it's a pretty good drop tower. They have a ride just like this at Knoebels, which is fun as well. But Yo-Yo is really fun because it's not just a normal wave swinger. Because your seat goes up, like moves back and forth almost. I'm not sure what it is quite, how they do that, but it does move back and forth. So, in my opinion, Extreme Tower and Yo-Yo are the two best flat rides in the park. And honestly, because of those two flat rides, I'd say the flat rides are probably better than the coasters, just because they have a lot of classic flat rides, but definitely Yo-Yo and Extreme Tower. I'd say if you're going to DelGrosso's, you have to do Yo-Yo and Extreme Tower and Crazy Mouse. Those are the three rides that you have to do. But now moving on to the food at the park. Okay, now talking about the food at the park, obviously, I only got the pasta there, so I don't have experience with any of the other food they have there. I don't think they have a big variety of food, but I know they have pizza, pasta, stuff like that. I definitely enjoyed the pasta. It was really good, and it was fairly priced. I think it was only like $7 for a big thing, and I think it can feed like 2 people, so it's plenty. And it's a pretty good deal for the food there, and it's good food. So yeah, I definitely recommend getting food at DelGrosso's because they have good food there. Now moving on to the next subject. Okay, now I'm going to talk about Laguna Splash, which is the water park connected with DelGrosso's. I was able to get on all of the water attractions except for 2, the kiddie slide structure and the kiddie wave pool. So I was able to get on almost all of the water attractions. So I feel like I got the whole experience in terms of water attractions. The only thing I would say is, obviously the boardwalk at Hershey Park is better, and Wild Water Kingdom at Dorney Park is way better. So yeah, I enjoyed it. They do have, like a dueling mat racing slide. I think the two structures in the back there are older than the water park, which opened in 2016. I'm not sure when they opened, but I know they're older because they look a lot older. So yeah, for the water park, I definitely enjoyed it. I'd say it's not the best water park, but it's definitely fun. It's definitely small, but I enjoyed it. So moving on to the next subject. Okay, the last subject I want to talk about, or actually two subjects, is the park experience and the park layout. First, with the park layout, obviously, it's split into two halves. The Laguna Splash is on the one side of the road, and the dry park is on the other side of the road. Where we parked was by the water park, so we walked through the water park to get over to the dry park. But other than that, like in the dry park, I think the water park is nicely laid out, but the dry park, there are some places which I guess you'd say experience more. Like in the back they have like pavilions for people to have parties and stuff. I saw when we were there, people were having parties and stuff back in pavilions and stuff. So yeah, that part of the park, it is a bit like, it doesn't feel like a amusement park. Obviously this is a small one, so they have to have some, like, I'm sure people have to pay to rent these pavilions, so it's a way for them to make money. But that part of the park, I saw there were people like driving through it and stuff. So, it is a little, in terms of experience, not the best part of the park. But, overall, I'd say it's a charming park. I'd definitely say it's a small park. So, it's not like overwhelming and stuff like some of these parks that are so corporate and stuff, and it's a nice park overall. So that's the last subject in this review. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'd highly recommend, if you haven't been to DelGrosso's, to get out to DelGrosso's. It's a fun park. Obviously I'd say it's a once and done park, but overall it's a fun park. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.